This
Yeah,
is a
this is
spoiler. This is
spoilers.
a spoiler episode.
Uh,
Spoiler episode. I want to hear you had an issue with your screen. So Carlos and I both went to the early screenings, right? Carlos, um,
well, the earlier screenings,
the theatrical
the
screenings. We'll put it that
theatrical
way,
screenings, yes.
right? So we both
Um,
went to the theatrical screenings. However, it seems as though Carlos's went not incredibly swimmingly.
yeah, so the Cinemark in Walnut Creek, you guys fucked up royally.
Hope you're listening,
Hope you're listening.
dicks.
Because yeah, so our show didn't start until at least like 7:30.
So it was pretty late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were still kind of like rolling in. So they took, I'm
Did
assuming they
that
took,
piss you off? Because that fucking pissed me off.
well, the show hadn't started.
Well, I guess that's true.
No one came in until after all that had happened. But someone had went down to talk to security. Um, did they take your phones?
No,
Really?
no.
God, the trusting of those Mormons
They,
over
they
there that they're
trust
not.
Utah, man.
Yeah, they trust Utah not to like illegally record. Did you get a thing that said no recording at the beginning of the?
Yeah, it was up on the screen for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they didn't even have that up because what happened was whatever USB drive had the showing, they didn't have that, and so they didn't know where it was, and so
God.
that was part of the problem with it starting on time. And I'm just sitting there in a COVID cloud, um, waiting for this goddamn thing to start, and I was just
Right.
fucking fuming. I was like, "This is not the way to start this fucking show."
Right.
It's
Which is
not.
not Amazon's
Oh,
fault. It's Walnut
oh,
Creek's fault.
oh, and I didn't get a chance to because we just kind of left and couldn't see him. Ryan, saw Ryan there.
Ryan, right?
Ryan
Oh,
from
really?
Ryan from the gym.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I should text him. I should reach out and be like, "Hey, so I heard you went to the
yeah,
theatrical showing.
yeah.
That's awesome."
I meant to like see him afterwards, but we were just kind of in a rush because it was late and we had to get
Right.
home. So yeah, that was how mine started.
I mine actually went really well. I was just super annoyed that people for like 15 minutes were shuffling in. I'm like, this is not your motherfucking living room.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to watch this like this,
Wait, I gotta
watch
go to
it
the
at home with everyone
I gotta go to
else.
the bathroom. Can you pause it real quick?
I was so fucking mad at people just like, I'm like, the fuck are you doing? Like, you should have got here. I mean, a half hour ago. Like, I was so upset.
Yeah, so
Anyway,
I think for us the biggest thing that so yeah, they confiscated your cell phones and your smartwatches.
wow.
Yeah, and they put them in little bags. And they wanted us. So California
Damn.
apparently you can't trust fucking Walnut Creek, California for
You
some
guys are
reason.
bootlegging that
Yeah.
shit.
Why you would want to watch that bootlegged is beyond me because
Like 5 hours early.
yeah, 5 hour watch it bootleg 5 hours early because honestly, the visuals were fucking stunning.
So good. So good. Like and I was talking and I was saying this, like, it's possible that I was because I was in a theater, I felt this way, but it did not feel like a TV show. And I had to continually remind myself, like, this is not going to conclude.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a movie. Like,
Yeah.
this is a TV show. We're going to keep going. Not only are we going to get more and more episodes over the next few weeks, we're going to have 5 seasons of this. So, like, this is not concluding here, even though it felt very much, it felt like a movie.
Felt very much movie like,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
And
I think people complaining about like, oh, it's like cheap cosplay and it's blah blah blah.
no.
It's like,
Oh my
no,
God, no.
no. I'm like, Melissa's like, you can tell they spent money on it.
Well, and I love, so I don't know if you remember this criticism, but people were like, it looks too clean. Do you remember that? Like, what do the men are just filth,
Yeah.
like dirt and like pig shit and like guts. Like, it is dirty, gritty, grimy.
Yeah.
Like, and like, yeah. So, I mean, initial reactions, did you love it or hate it?
I loved it. I mean, I've been excited for it for how long now?
5 years
Yeah,
almost.
5 years. Um, it was great to finally see it. I will say that there are things that I'm not crazy about.
Yeah,
And I sent you a message about this. Single ladies, sorry, but Galadriel's not one of you
right.
at this point in time.
Well, and so that's kind of like that's what and this is again something that I continue to like tell myself of this idea of like, okay, what are they doing with the timeline? I have to remember that this is a 5 season story.
Mhm.
So yes, even though she, well, okay, few things. Even though yes, she does meet Celeborn in Doriath,
Yeah.
right?
First age.
There are multiple tellings of how her and Celeborn met and who Celeborn actually is.
Right.
We can argue over what is canon and what isn't, right? But there are multiple tellings. Now, in all of them, she knows him already,
Yeah.
right? But I'm okay with him coming in later. But he needs to come in because we need to have by the time the War of the Ring comes around, we need to have Elrond already have lost Celebrimbor. Like
Yeah.
we need that because we need that Elrond.
Yeah.
We like that is a massive part of his journey, and we can't get that until Galadriel meets Celeborn and has a kid, and that kid grows up to like 500 years old.
At least, I don't know their ages, like what ages these
Right.
people are, right? But like Elrond, like, is Galadriel Elrond's oldest friend? In terms of like age, yeah, probably, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely she
absolutely.
is.
Next to Círdan, right?
Yeah,
She's
unless
probably
he's
the next.
already buddies with Círdan.
She's kind of already there. Um, she should have her kid, right? Because
Yes.
if he's cradle robbing, that's not in this day and age, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a weird scenario that they've put it in. And so yes, I agree with you there.
So that's one criticism, right?
Yeah,
The beginning, fucking loved it.
so
The
good.
the finding out that those elf kids that we saw, the spoilers, by the way,
Oh yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. Yeah, sorry
spoilers.
everybody. This
Yeah,
is a
this is
spoiler. This is
spoilers.
a spoiler episode.
Uh,
Spoiler episode.
One of those kids is fucking Galadriel,
Mhm.
right? Uh, elf children are little shits.
Yeah. Oh, no. I was saying, so my favorite thing so far of this entire series is that everybody who has only ever watched the Lord of the Rings movies and they're like, oh, elves so high and noble, all this, they're finally showing how elves of the Silmarillion are, which is complete fucking
Oh
assholes.
yeah.
Like
Oh, you
elves
made a
are
boat?
dicks.
Oh, you made a boat? Oh, that boat turned into a fucking swan? Oh, fuck
Fuck
your
that
boat.
boat.
Fuck your boat. Uh,
Also, I would like to say, and I'm pretty sure on IMDb it still doesn't say, I would like to state it still has yet to say that that is Finrod. It simply says that it is one of her brothers, and her brothers have died in battle outside of Finrod.
yeah, but who was actually like killed by Sauron?
Right, but like again,
Who's
that's
the
not
bro?
necessarily.
If you're gonna love a brother of
I
yours,
know.
right? Like,
Which okay, so I and you and I have talked about it.
isn't
I'll
isn't Felagund beloved?
yes,
Isn't
and
that literally means beloved?
I am sorry if I have ever cast any doubt in anybody's mind of the fact that this guy should be Finrod, because if he is, I love this man already.
Oh yeah.
Like the guy who's playing Galadriel's brother, which I guess we could just call him Finrod.
Let's just call him Finrod.
Yeah, the guy who is playing Finrod, I absolutely love him. Like everything that the like minute and a half that we've seen of him, I I love it. He plays that elf so well. He
Yeah.
is very like he plays him as this beloved elf, this person that absolutely will mend fences across races. Like so good. I I love that he exists, even if it's only going to be, I mean, it will only be, but even though it will only be in flashbacks, I love that he exists.
Yeah.
And the
Um,
actor who is playing him is fantastic.
and so the first part of it, right? Before
Mm,
we even got the title, right, was a flashback.
right.
Was an entire flashback of uh her as a child, her talking to Felagund, talking about leaving Valinor, talking about the fucking trees being destroyed by Morgoth, right? We
Right.
saw that, right? We saw the trees like darken.
Wither.
Yeah. We see the ships leaving for Middle Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see the Oath of Feanor, and at the end we see, Finrod's in there. I'm not sure if that
Who he does not participate in
no.
the oath.
No.
However, he was there with everybody going like, woohoo, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
So,
fine. Like
yeah.
I like that's fine.
Yeah. Would it have been fine without him on there? Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Um, the the we finally figured out that it's not the Hellcracks, right? That she's climbing up.
Right.
It's the it's the fucking Northern Wastes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which we've never seen before.
Nope.
I loved and then just kind of skipping ahead because we are at the 18-minute mark, 18 minutes left. The maps like skipping
Yes. The
to the
shifting.
locations, yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. Um
So one of the
so
things I
things
was
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, go no, you go ahead.
So
Things that you liked.
things that I liked, right? So that um her acting was fantastic.
Ah,
Um Disa, right off the bat, fucking love Disa.
so
She
good.
was so good. Like
So good.
her and Durin, like
Oh,
their chemistry
and they're
together.
so in love
Yeah, their
and just
chemistry
like, oh,
together is fucking perfect.
I love it.
She,
Um,
the whole like you're not staying, you're not you're just gonna meet her, you're not
you get
staying
to
for
say
dinner.
sorry to Disa and that's it.
That's it. And then she's like, "Oh, you definitely got to stay for dinner." Right?
Well,
So,
and so I actually, and we talked about this a little bit. The moment where Durin is yelling at Elrond, um, it gives us things that I said for a long time I've wanted in this series, and we've talked about it, and you've talked about it as well. Is this idea of like we need to see whether I mean they're doing a seems to be that they're doing it with a dwarf, which also makes sense, but we need to see this idea of impermanence coming into the minds of elves, right? Because elves do not think of that.
mhm.
And Durin is like legitimately and like well within his right, fucking pissed
Yeah.
because a person who he thought was like his best friend abandoned him for 20 years,
Yep.
which for Elrond feels like nothing,
Yep.
right? It's a
The
fucking blink in the eye.
blink of an eye.
But for Durin, even if Durin lives 500 years as dwarves can, right? That is still a significant chunk of his life gone. Like he said, he missed his wedding. He missed the births of both of his kids, right? And that hurt. And watching Durin yell at him and tell him that and tell him how much that hurt him,
Yeah.
like so that part made me cry. Like that like hit. I was like, God damn, dude. And Elrond was like, you could see that Elrond was he was one of those people where he's like, he didn't mean any malice by it, right? But he also was like, but I did fuck up.
Yeah.
Like I fucked up. And that sucks because you are my friend. But that whole Khazad-dûm,
Oh yeah. All of that. The music
so good. I can't
is
get that music out
yeah,
of my head.
I can't get it out of my
I
head either.
cannot get that music out of
I
my
woke up
head.
today and I still heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Their feats of strength
Yeah.
of breaking the bold, so good. Like it was and
Their Festivus
yeah,
ritual.
well, and you get to see like you also get to see like Elrond, like he's not weak.
Yeah.
Like the boy can go, and it's cool. It's really cool.
Um, Moving on to so we've talked about Galadriel a little bit, right?
Hmm.
We find out that she's being honored. There's clearly So it seems like there's a little bit of animosity or like a little
with Gilgalad
with Gilgalad. Um
or Gilgalad, as some people say, which I don't like.
yeah,
But
Gilgalad.
yeah,
Um uh s- that that's the other thing that I wasn't like crazy about. I did love the way they filmed it, the way it was filmed, like her going to Valinor, them hearing the music, reaching out for the
right,
light, right? And then her just being like, fuck this. And then we finally figure out what Finrod had actually told her
right,
when she was a kid.
right.
I thought it was going to be at least a season before we found that
Before we
out.
knew what that whisper was.
Yeah. So that was some instant satisfaction right there. Um, uh, uh and so um that moving on from that to let's talk about Arondir
Dude.
and this. So we're kind of in we're in the Southlands is where he
Mm-hmm.
is, right? So this is south of this is Harad,
Mm-hmm.
right?
They actually call them the peoples there are like New Harad or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
I couldn't Taharad or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um and so he is on the borders there keeping watch over them because they used to fight with Morgoth.
Right.
So that's what it's that's what it sounds like he's kind of doing. We're introduced to him. We're introduced to Bronwyn, who is his love interest.
And
Um,
Theo, who's kind of a little dick.
yeah, not crazy about Theo at this point,
Yeah.
but that fucking sword is fucking cool,
That sword is really cool.
right? And it's
And
got
I don't know what it is, but it's cool.
well, whatever it is, it has Sauron's mark on it.
Right.
So we see that. We see the scene of his blood kind of trickling down towards it, and then the sword getting looks like it's about to be
Like coming
remade.
back together.
Yeah, it's about to be
Yeah.
remade. So I think all our theories about it being Ale sword, right?
It's all gone.
It's all gone.
Yeah.
Um, and then in oh fuck, I can't in Rovanion, right? We are introduced to the
The
hobbits.
Harfoots.
Yeah, the hobbits of the story, the Harfoots.
Yeah. So I fun thing about that. So I've enjoyed I love the two that we see the most. I can't remember their names now. Nori and Pepper, is that her friend's name?
I think
Poppy.
so. Poppy,
Poppy.
Poppy.
Nora and Poppy. Anyway, their relationship is great and it's very Hobbit like,
Mhm.
right? It's what we've seen from other interpretations of hobbits and everything. Um I am not yet like fully enamored by the hobbits. Like I like them.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel like those shifts to the hobbits, right, take me out of like whatever the other story was a little bit,
right.
and it might just be the might just be the music,
Yeah,
right, and the transition isn't the greatest.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that story is gonna get told a little differently because of the Meteor Man.
right. And like and it's fine. It's not that I don't it's not that I don't like that there are hobbits there. I like that there are hobbits there. It's simply that the story itself hasn't captured me yet. The
Right.
people themselves haven't captured me yet, right?
Something's going to happen, right?
Right.
And again, this is the first two episodes of an 8 episode season, 12 episode season,
10, I think.
10 episode season. Um, and so, there's more story that's going to be told
Right.
about that. And I fully expect it um, to come full circle, not full circle, but to be fleshed out more.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and again, it's like they are fun. They're fun characters. They're important characters, right? We're seeing them still be hobbitish as we saw in, let's say, like Peter Jackson's films, right? But very secretive. There's a reason why they didn't come into the histories of men until the Third Age,
yeah,
right? And they do it well. Like the fact that their entire camp is like just hidden,
yeah,
right? And but it's like hidden in plain sight. It's
yeah,
right there.
yep,
It's very cool. It's just like of the stories that are being told, that is the one that I was least involved in.
yeah.
Because
I am involved in in finding out who the hell the Meteor Man is.
stop calling him that. He's the stranger.
Whatever. It's the Meteor Man.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I do feel like if I was saying that I feel like if they go with an that if he is an Astari,
Uh-huh.
if he's one of the Astaris, then the film or the not the film, the TV makers, the producers or whatever for this show kind of saw had the same vision as I did of the Astari kind of having this veil put over them. Right?
Of not knowing anything.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like he obviously like he has a hard time talking with her, but like it seems like he speaks like Quenya or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah.
right? So it's not like he doesn't speak. It's not like he forgot everything. He obviously knows that there's like a pattern in the stars that he's supposed to be looking for or whatever, right? There are things that he knows, but he doesn't quite have like the full sight.
Well, and there's clearly like Gandalf, like
There's
there's
Gandalf vibes that I
there's
feel
for
like they're
sure
trying to throw
like
us for a loop here.
right.
Like
And I
him,
think yeah, talking to it, right?
yeah,
The him when she first gets there, like growing larger,
with
right?
the darkness a
With the
little bit.
darkness a little bit.
Yeah,
I think that's, and then obviously like how he arrives there.
right.
Now, I don't think Gandalf was a fire Maya.
He was actually.
Was he really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
well, it could still be
yeah.
Gandalf,
One of
but
the few.
so it could still be Gandalf because I mean he clearly controlled the he clearly controlled the fireflies, right?
Right.
He
And
clear and the fire that he came in, right? Like,
if hobbits were the first peoples that he was introduced to in Middle Earth, it
he
would
would
make sense that he
gra-
returns to them, right?
gravitates towards hobbits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um yeah, and I feel like the stranger's story is enticing, but again, like for me personally, um
seven
what's going
minutes.
on with Arondir, what's going on with Galadriel, and what's going on there's another story. Oh, with like Elrond and Durin.
Uh-huh.
Those are more interesting to me.
Yeah,
And that's just right now. And that's not saying that those are bad things. They're still well written. They're still done very well.
yeah.
It's just not what I'm gravitating towards right now. Like Arondir, like that dude, like if you're given a choice between Legolas and Arondir and you choose Legolas, you're wrong at
Yeah.
this point. I'm sorry, because that dude is a badass. And I've heard his like actual accent, like he's Puerto Rican, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I
His
think
Puerto
so.
Rican accent, like his speaking voice, and then hearing his accent that he does in this, I'm like, bro, you sound fucking good, dude. Like he does a very good job, and it's this very brooding, right? And he's a badass.
Yeah.
But Durin and the emotion that Durin puts out and like who Durin is right now and his relationship with both Disa and with Elrond, I love the guy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
so great.
I would have to say if I had to choose somebody, I would probably say Doran as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I like the Galadriel character. I think
Galadriel's amazing.
she's doing a fantastic job. Um, uh,
Mm. Um, what is something that surprised you out of these first two episodes?
something that surprised me.
Yeah, was there anything that surprised? I have something specifically, but was there anything that surprised you out of these first two episodes? I'll go first.
Yeah, why don't you go first?
I was actually surprised that in the first two episodes, not even a mention of Numenor.
Oh yeah, I did.
Not
kinda
even a
notice that. I was like,
word. Not
we're not.
even that. Not even a mention that this place even existed.
Yeah,
Surprised. Now, obviously, at the very end, the guy in the ship that's saving Galadriel and Haldir,
yeah.
or Haldir?
No,
No, not Haldir.
Haldyr's
It's
Halbrand.
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 It's a Numenorian ship,
Yeah,
right? And this is how we're going to get introduced to Numenor.
right.
But not even a mention. Nobody even said the words Numenor
Yeah,
in the first two episodes, which I was, again, not a bad thing, just surprised me.
Yeah, I don't know if I was surprised by anything. I
Um,
don't think anything surprised me.
uh,
I was like, I kind of get it. I'm like, okay, well, now that you mentioned that, like maybe that was a little like, but I was like, yeah, it's weird that we haven't gone to Numenor yet, but there's still plenty of time, right?
well, and I wonder how much
It
they're
does.
trying.
How do you like it's one of those things like what I would like to see in the next episodes that we get this season is not so much jump. Well, I have to jump to the dwarves, and I have to jump to the elves, and I have to
Right.
jump to Galadriel, and I have to jump to Numenor, and I have to jump to the hobbits. Right? It's a lot of jumping.
Yeah.
Right? Give me some episodes where I don't see hobbits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
No,
Give me
for
an
sure.
episode where I don't see hobbits or I don't see this. Right? That's fine.
Um,
But yeah, trying to like shoehorn everything that you could possibly see, it just probably gets too much.
well, and I do feel like they're trying to give this contrast, really trying to give the contrast between like the men in the Southlands and what we're about to see of Numenor.
Yeah.
Like Numenor at its fucking height,
Oh
like
yeah.
beautiful, technological, like Numenor.
Well, I have a feeling those three ships that we see like kind of sail in the promo that we saw
Oh
before,
yeah,
right? That's going to be Galadriel coming to
coming
Numenor.
into
Yeah,
Numenor
yeah. They get
with
rescued with
yeah.
on with Halbrand and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I mean,
and then
overall,
one of
and
the
we
things
have
like
2 minutes to wrap this up.
so you asked me one thing, or you asked me like how I felt about it, right? You text me and you asked me
Yeah.
how I felt about it. And one of the things I said was, I think I said in there like, "Oh, we'll talk about it," but like, I can't even remember how I worded it.
Here,
But
I have it pulled up. I'm like, what did you think? You said that there were things that you had to sit with for a second,
yes,
but you loved it.
okay. So what I meant by sit with for a second is, and I was actually quickly able to come around. And I'm hoping that this was on purpose by the writers,
Uh-huh.
that they worded this specifically on purpose. Um, because so we know that elves are arrogant and haughty and make themselves the center of stories, right?
Yep.
So Celebrimbor,
That is our position on elves.
yeah, Celebrimbor says, among elves, it has been said, and then describes a scenario where Morgoth has the Silmarils, right? And is almost moved to better himself by the Silmarils, by something that Feanor made,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, that's fucking bullshit, but that's great that you elves tell yourselves that fucking story.
I want to say about that. I don't think I took that away. I don't think I took that away from that sequence. What I took away from that sequence was holy shit, they just mentioned Feanor. Holy shit, that's fucking Feanor's hammer.
Yeah.
They just talked about the Silmarils. That's
Yeah.
like
But
we've
like,
we've never gotten that,
no, absolutely not.
right? Even when Aragorn talks about Baron and Luthien, right?
Right.
In the
But it is
extended
mentioned in the
edition,
appendices,
it is mentioned in the appendices. But
right?
like the
And so,
whole war for the jewels, right?
yeah.
The war for the Silmarils. We finally get that. We finally find that out.
Yeah.
Um,
But so what I meant by like having to sit with it is I didn't like that story that he told.
I
I
liked
didn't
it.
like I
I
didn't
liked
like
it.
this story of Morgoth getting the Silmarils and he like cried over them and like all of this stuff and it almost turned him and then he decided he couldn't look at him anymore, right? I didn't like that story.
Oh, what are you talking about?
No, I
That's
thought it was
beautiful.
dumb. No, fuck that.
That's
Feanor's an
beautiful.
asshole. Fuck
Time,
that shit.
time.
No, because we
No.
said no, no.
So,
Fuck that shit.
so yes, Fanor is an asshole, but it's not up for argument if he was the greatest
He wasn't
craftsman.
moved to like Morgoth was not moved to almost better himself
I
because of
don't
the Silmarils.
I don't think that's what
That's what he said.
we're gonna rewatch. I'm gonna
That's
rewatch it tonight. I'm
exactly what he
rewatching this.
says.
I'm rewatching this in the next 3 or 4.5 hours.
Okay, I'm telling. So that is exactly what he says. And so what I said, and the way that I reconciled with this is he started telling that story by saying it is told among the elves.
Right.
And as long as he says that, I'm like, oh, cool, it's your fucking mythology. It's not what actually happened. Because A, how would they fucking know?
They're all knowing elves.
No, they're not. They are not. They wouldn't know. They weren't there. They weren't in the caverns when he had the fucking Silmarils. They'd have no idea. They're just telling themselves a goddamn story because they think they're so fucking great.
I mean, the
So
Silmarils are pretty great.
anyway, so the story that you hold, this is the one time I'm going to talk about canon. The story that you told, that Celebrimbor told Elrond about the Silmarils is not canon, and it's fucking bullshit.
So
uh,
overall,
overall thoughts.
overall thoughts.
I loved it. I had to continue to remind myself that it was not a movie, that I was going to be seeing upwards towards 50 episodes, 50 hours of this creation, and that I just needed to be patient. I've heard people talk about the pacing a little bit. I think for 2 hours of TV show, the pacing was perfect.
Yeah.
I thought it was exactly what it should be.
Yeah.
And my final takeaway on it is that I am glad that I was wrong, and that is Finrod, and I love him as Finrod. He is a beautiful Finrod.
Eat crow.
Yeah,
You gotta eat some crow.
It was he's amazing as Finrod.
So my takeaways are that the acting, is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The visuals, I think what people were kind of complaining about, you ain't got nothing to complain
Baseless.
about. If you want to complain just to be a fucking complainer and a whiner, then that's on you. That's your right as a human being to complain.
Right.
The characters, right? Like all the talk about, oh, it's woke because they got like these, like, doesn't matter. Like they were fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't take anything away from the story. Disa was fucking great in the first fucking 5 seconds that she was on screen. Like it was boom. She was perfect for that role.
Oh, good.
And I am excited for tonight to rewatch it again. Yep. I'm excited for tomorrow to rewatch it again.
And we got a 3-day weekend.
So there's gonna be a lot of watching it again, and a lot of eye rolling from Melissa for watching it 3 times in the span of 72 hours. 24, 48, whatever, math is hard.
Yeah. So yes, all of you people who think that anybody is talking good things about the Amazon Rings of Power show, or paid chills, or aren't real fans, or whatever you want to call us, you're probably not listening to us anyway. But we did, as you can see, have some criticisms.
Yeah.
But it does not change the fact that it's an amazing show. It's an amazing story, and we're getting a lot more Tolkien. That we are well produced, well done, well thought out. It's not like this was just thrown together. This does not feel like a money grab.
Nope.
And I
mean, let's be honest. It's gonna be a money grab, right?
But it doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it,
right?
Like they're gonna make some money off of this.
Like this doesn't feel like the Scorpion King or like the Mummy 3.
Let's be real, right? Let's be real for one quick second. What did Amazon start as? Amazon started as a way to buy books, right? What the fuck do you think is gonna happen? What the fuck did we? What I know. Melissa heard, and we talked about it after the showing. People talking about, now I gotta go buy a book and remember and read this, right?
Yep.
How much money do you think fucking Amazon is about to make selling books for the Lord of the Rings?
Yep.
For the Lord of the Rings, for the Silmarillion, for the Unfinished Tales, anything fucking Tolkien
for the upcoming Numenor book that's coming out in like November.
Yeah. They're gonna make some money.
Yeah.
Because of the interest from the show, because the show is good.
Yes.
There are several people, like Melissa was telling me about, a critic, a TV critic who's seen it. He's like, the jury's still out, right? He's coming from it as a casual fan, as a casual viewer, right?
Right.
Not a fan, doesn't know the history behind it, and that's really gonna tell how successful the show is, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much of
bringing new people in who don't know the stories?
Yeah, exactly. How many of those people are they going to be able to bring in and keep interested with the
Right.
way the story's told.
Yeah.
From my perspective as a fan, um, they're doing a good job. Now, I don't know, you know, I don't know the opposite perspective because I can't put myself in that perspective.
Right.
So I'll just have to ask Melissa each and every time we sit and watch it.
Yeah. So this time, guys, we went a little bit longer. That is because it was 2 episodes, though. So we told ourselves that we could go a tad longer. We are going to try and keep
Like
them.
40 minutes.
Yeah, we want any take that you have, reach out, talk to us about it. I would love to continue kind of this conversation now that we're getting these episodes out. We're getting them out weekly. Like, let's talk about this stuff. We're going to come in. You're going to be able to hear our opinions on it. If we missed something that we didn't talk about that you loved, let us know. And you know, we'll reach out to you on Instagram, TikTok. We are at _Swolhirrim. Find us on YouTube as well. And then on our link tree in Instagram, we have our Patreon, which is also the Swolhirrim. And we have our merch, our Teespring merch. So we've got hoodies, t-shirts, tank tops, and like coffee mugs. So yeah, if you want to support the Swolhirrim, be a part of the Riders of Swolhan, you can jump on there, get something from there. And it was a great first 2 episodes. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as Carlos and I did. And we will talk to you about this again next week. Carlos, you got anything else?
Bye. Go watch the show.